evening. This has been a while. Welcome back. It's a Tuesday night, and we are all for Big Brother. Hey, there he is. Tonight, we are back with an exclusive. Welcome back, our boys, Braden Harvey and Aaron Plumbing. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Nice to see my boys again.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so
you didn't introduce me.
And buckets. My buckets.
Yeah, like what the deuce?
What the deuce? So tonight we are going to look back on what was Big Brother 2022. Now, obviously, there's been a lot, and we mean a lot of stuff going down in this house. Now we have reached the top 10. We are at the final stretches. I think there's another
2 weeks.
2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Three
weeks before the show ends. And we are going to be looking back and looking forward. First question I'm going to throw to all of you is, what has been your favorite moment of Big Brother this year? Big Brother 2022, OGs versus newbies. Braden.
My favorite moment has to be Reggie, just her whole personality. Even with the whole editing, her whole personality just shines through, and I really, really love it. One thing I really did love about it was the moment where she was kind of taught how to strategize and almost lie, and she went to Johnson, and she was like, "Oh, I think JC will be the target." And then, Johnson did his thing and whatnot. And then he was like, "Yeah, well, my number one is JC." And then it cuts to her in the diary and she's like, "Tucker." Like that was such an iconic moment. And I'm so glad that we still have Reggie in the house. Spoilers for anyone who's a little behind, but yeah, she's still in the house. Luckily, so yeah.
Aaron, what has been your favorite moment of this year's show?
I'd have to say seeing Reggie and Dave's relationship blossom, like from like being friends on the outside and like coming into this house, and just seeing it like how they act around each other in the real world, if that makes sense.
Buckets, what's been your favorite moment?
I honestly well, from the last episode, probably my favorite moment is Therese finally stepping up and just getting rid of what he conceived as the three most powerful people in the house. And now he's got this massive target on his back because he's disrupted basically everyone's alliances and everyone's trust and whatever. And I think he's just, I hate to say this, but I think Therese is a bit like Danny. And I was tonight, I was actually going for Therese to win. Whilst everyone else was saying, "No, lose, Therese, lose. You're a liar, lose." I was saying, "No, go for it, mate," because I didn't like the fact how everyone was going to vote him out anyway. And he finally thought, you know what, I'm going to have to fight to keep my place here in the Big Brother house because I'm no longer under the radar. So I think that's one of my favorite moments today.
I think for me, it would have to be, looking back, the moment that captured me was, I think the temptation task is one of my utmost favorites that they've pulled off this series, because even though there was a shopping task and it was temptation week, and the fact that a lot of Reggie and I think Gabby didn't get to see their families or their messages, but having to see the housemates react to their loved ones and to be able to go, I've been here for almost 2 months. I haven't seen my family. I can't call them. I can't text. I can't video call. I can't drive across state, or I can't drive around the corner. And I think seeing Tim and his boyfriend, I think that made me cry a lot. I think seeing the families just makes you feel like, gosh, what would it be like for 2.5 months or 3 months just to live in the house with other people in a shared home and not being able to contact the outside? I mean, that must have been hard. I mean, sure, it's temptation where you take it or you not, but for me, it has to be the temptation week of being able to talk to their families. And I think they should have given Gabby and Reggie their fair dues, which is got to see her kids, and Gabby got to see her family. I think they should have been fair, but what I was kind of frustrated about was Sam and Drew, and I was like, oh, not again. I do not want to see Sam and Drew again. I do not want to see Drew all kissy face and Sam going, oh, blah, 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 blah. And it's sort of like, but she just got evicted. Like, come on, spare us. But that was my favorite. I think that was my favorite. And speaking of housemates, here's the good one that I think Philip should ask. Go for it. Number 2.
Is Taras secretly becoming the villain? And if you want my opinion, he totally is. He's secretly becoming the villain. I don't actually see him as the good guy right now, and neither does the rest of the house. He is like the villain that people have been kind of ignoring his existence for so long, and for which case he's been going under the radar for so long. I mean, that's like, in the Big Brother house, that's like going off the grid. He's gone off grid for so long, for almost the whole series. No one cared to look or talk to him or whatever, except to tell him who he should vote for. And the minute basically, there was that activity where everyone had to answer the correct question, and they asked who do they trust the least, or who were they basically going to nominate most likely. Taras's name came up. So as a result, I think they've pretty much just woken up a sleeping giant, and they had better watch their backs if they're not careful, because Taras will destroy them. Basically, that's my opinion about Taras.
Aaron?
I'd say yes. It goes 2 ways for me. It's either he's becoming the villain, or it's just the way it's edited to make him look like the villain. But he reminds me of so much of these movie villains kind of thing, and he reminds me so much of like a film villain. So yeah.
Brayden?
Yeah, so I actually got to chat with Taras just a little bit on Instagram. I know, shocker. So what he messaged me last night was
Oh, read that. You got to read that.
Read
so I said, bestie making moves, OMG. And then he was like, yes, Brayden, I'm so happy you don't hate me. And then I said, it's a game and you definitely did that. I respect it. I don't know. I think that, it is a game. And look, it sucked that it had to be Tully that went, because I really was rooting for Tully and her to outstay Drew and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he really went for it, and I respect him for it. And he's not just someone I see in the house, he's someone I've been able to be in contact with on the outside world. So I think I have that added respect of the fact that he's not just a reality TV person, he's an actual real life person on the outside who, yeah. And again, it goes back to the show and how highly edited it is. And, it clearly just wants stories that just reach to a conclusion, and not little stories that build up over time. I definitely felt like Taras was making a lot of big strategic moves. There was one time it was between Lulu and Sam, and he said, I want to be on the right side of the vote. And I think, it's shown the progress, but I guess now we're really getting to the business end. He decided to go out and make a big move, and I hope that he does get to the end. So, yeah.
Like for me, Taras, when he first came on the scene, I'm like, this guy's going to be evicted day one, because for me, I felt like Taras was sort of like, I know it's going to sound weird coming out of my mouth, but it's kind of like the friend you would have on the Big Bang Theory that's so
Oh,
super
yeah.
smart, but
Yeah.
doesn't show it. And he's quite sort of, weird to say it, kind of nerdy, kind of geeky, kind of, he's going to fly under the radar. And, he's going to get evicted day one, but he surprised me. Like, I didn't want Tully to go. Like, I felt Tully still had a long way. You're disappearing. I had a long way to go. And I think, here's a random question I want to throw out to all three of you. Speaking of Taras, is Taras the underdog? Go.
Hell yes, Taras is totally the underdog. And if he wasn't before, he is now. Like when I saw last week's episode, and pretty much almost everyone voted Taras as a person that they were going to nominate even before nominations even begun, he became the underdog. And that's why I actually respect Taras, because he did literally everything in his power to escape evictions. I think that before, he just thought, you know what, I can get away with being under the radar and no one's going to vote me in because no one cares. And until he realized that everyone was basically going to gun him and, cut him in the back anyway, that's when he went, you know what, screw it. I'm going to fight as hard as I possibly can. Now that everyone has literally said, I'm going to come after you. And he kept his place. And for that, I actually respect Taras, because despite all adversity, despite everyone wanting to come after him, as a casualty of war, he stood up against the fire and won his right to stay in the house. And that's why I respect him. There are other players that have manipulated their way through the house, but Taras, to be honest, I think if I had to compare him to another player, I'd compare him to Danny, who against all odds basically fought to the very, very end. And I think people have finally realized how strong he actually is.
Next question. Sorry. Before we go, brain fart. Brayden.
You can't say that on national television. It's a good thing this is television.
Do you think Taras is the underdog?
Yeah, well, now he definitely is. But yeah, look, I respect this game. I think he's playing a brilliant one. Probably one of the most strategic games we've ever seen. I think I would rank him top strategic player I've seen from the whole Channel 7 iteration. It's the same as Estelle. She was such an underdog for weeks on end, but now she's kind of come back into the centerfold, and she's kind of good for the time being. And you always want to root for the underdog. A lot of people want the underdog to win. Reality TV has proven time and time again, everyone loves an underdog story, and that's what we're seeing with Taras.
Aaron, is Taras the underdog?
I'd say yes, because I forgot what I was going to say now. Because I think it's been part of his game plan for a very long time to just sit back and just watch everything unfold, and then all of a sudden towards the end of the show, just go in there and just get rid of all the big game players. So yeah.
For me, Taras is he's not a heart player, but he's definitely a head player. He's strategic, he's smart, he's witty, and he is the underdog. I mean, he knew who he wanted out, and he obviously won that nominations challenge in order to conceive his idea and to pull off a blindside. And he knew who he was gunning for. And obviously, I think he's been so quiet to the point like no one can see his mind tick and evaluate and study and, you know, who's going to be my victim? Who's going to be the person I want out? Who's going to be the person I'll put in that purple chair? And to have to say good on him. I mean, honestly, good on him. But he has to be careful now.
Can I say something about
Yeah, sure.
that? So everyone's like calling Taras this massive liar and stuff like that. So Taras, you're a liar. I can't trust you if you're lying. But here's the thing about Taras and everyone else in the house. They're all liars. And Drew is like the biggest caller out of liars. And he's the worst liar of them all. He not only backstabbed his girlfriend, said everything was okay, started to sleep with his girlfriend Sam, okay, convinced her, built trust up with her, and then backstabbed her. And then when he was in another series with that other blonde girl, what was her name? Tully, he did exactly the same to her, only in this series.
Yeah.
So he's lied to two women that he's slept with. And
We can't say that. We can't say slept with.
Yes, you can. Would you like me to say it in another way?
Tully is an ex-girlfriend.
Yes, we'll say an ex-girlfriend, but I just like to point something out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a friend called Lisa Marie, and I'm going to steal this from you, sadly. If you watch it,
Give her a shout out.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a shout out.
We're shouting you out.
Yeah, we're shouting you out basically for this. But she was the one that literally said, you know, because she put something up on the Big Brother thing that said, I think it said,
Drew is the biggest.
So yeah, Taras is the biggest liar he's ever seen.
No, Drew. Drew is the biggest liar she's ever seen.
Yeah, she said Drew was the biggest liar she had ever seen. But she said that, you know, Drew basically blatantly lied to both Sam and
Tully.
Sam and Tully in front of their faces. You know, to the point where it's like, well, I mean, yeah, look, Taras lied maybe once, but how many times, Drew, have you lied on the game? I mean, you've lied every time. How many blindsides have you done? All the time. And even though you may not like to vote someone out because you're not given much of a choice, I get that. You've still lied and you've still voted those people that you said you weren't going to vote out. And that is still a lie.
Well, I'm going to say one more thing about this, which is Drew did mention saying, Taras made me vote out Tully. Taras made me do it. Thing is, you go on national TV and you say, oh, Taras made me vote out my ex-girlfriend. Hello? I mean, you voted her out. This was your doing.
You nominated her.
Yeah, you nominated her. You can't. Either he nominated her or evicted her. It doesn't matter. But the thing is, no, he didn't nominate Taras did, but you can't unevict someone. He evicted her because supposedly Taras made him do it. Now, come on. Don't have your cake and eat it too. Because obviously they've known each other for 9 years. They've talked to each other for 9 years. They've been in each other's lives. They're going to continue to be in each other's lives. Let's face it. You called it.
Yeah, and
spade's a spade.
I just like to point out that it was Drew that basically said, outside of the game, he's known Tully for like 9 years, which means he backstabbed his best friend.
Yeah.
And Tully's like, why are you supporting me? I've known you for 9 years.
Yeah. Let's ask the next question. So obviously we know before they came into the house, they all did their, their backstories. They had videos of where they came from, what city, what town, where they were born, their families, friends, etc., etc. I feel like here's the question I want to ask and see if you guys can answer this one for me because it's a riddle for me. Actually, Aaron brought this question up, which is why do you think they haven't shown Gabby's backstory on the show yet? Because we've seen Tim's, we've seen everybody else's, but Gabby's is the only backstory we haven't seen, and this sparks a riddle for me. Braden.
I don't know. Gabby's one of my favorite newbies, and she's always been.
Yeah.
Ever since she made that move, ever since she was like, Joel kind of pressured her to vote his way, and she was like, "Are you threatening me?" And then she went into the eviction room and then voted to evict Mel from Melbourne. Who remembers her? Like she was so far
God.
God. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like I really do like Gabby. I think she's playing a really great game. She's going back and forth and she's a floater. Floaters are different to coasters. Coasters are people who just go onto the radar and don't do anything.
Yeah.
Floaters are people who go one side or the other. But people aren't really noticing it. That's what I really like. I don't know. I feel like Gabby, I don't know why they haven't shown a VT. Is that lackluster editing? Probably.
She's the only one we haven't seen. We don't know anything about from her backstory to be able to support her. But Aaron, why do you think they haven't shown her backstory?
It could just be like the way they've edited it together, and then like just basically forgot about it, basically, and then just she's just there, and yeah.
Here's another random question I have. There's something about Brenton that I can't put my finger to. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You may tell me I'm wrong, which is fair.
Well,
but Brenton, I feel like, has been on different reality shows, and I feel like he's either someone they've put in who knows the game back to front. Obviously,
he says he
hasn't seen Big Brother. He doesn't know who Big Brother is. He doesn't know how the game's played.
But yeah, why sign up for it then?
Why sign up for something you've never heard of, never seen? But here's the kicker. He walks in and he goes, "Oh, it's Grant Denyer here," or "Who is Sonia Kruger?" And and he's like, when he said Grant Denyer, I'm going, "Oh, that is so not good."
I've actually seen Grant Denyer, and he's tiny.
He's adorable. I love you, Grant Denyer. You're amazing. But do you notice there's something like, like there's something I'm trying to like scratch the surface with Brenton. I feel like he's been in other reality shows.
I may comment on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I may. He was a character on Home and Away.
I thought so.
He's an actor. He's an actor.
Can I say something on that? I think Home and Away is like work experience for real actors.
I kind of knew he was
but yes, he is an actor.
I kind of felt something. That's what I'm saying. Is he a real? Because he dropped The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and I'm going, this is not this particular section of what this show is. I don't want to mention it because I'll get wrong, but this is not okay. This guy's bizarre. Aaron, is there something about Brenton that we don't know?
There is something off about him when he walked in and just acted as a dumb guy. It was just like, is this guy for real? what the hell is going on?
Exactly.
Like,
Can I
yeah,
please ask a question? If Big Brother can accept someone like Brenton, does that mean they're actually going to take either Harold from from Neighbours, or someone else? You know, I mean,
Poor Harold.
yeah, poor Harold.
He will struggle with them challenges. The challenges are so much more physical this series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of valuing what the fans are saying, which is, can we get less physical challenges and more mental challenges? Because you don't see mental challenges this year. I mean,
No.
you know, it's
No,
kind
the-
of like there are a lot of fans. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. And there are a lot of fans who are screaming out to Big Brother saying, look, we feel there's no more originality left. I mean, throwing Estelle in a paddock room with snakes. Do you know how dangerous that element of danger is? If she gets bitten, that's dangerous.
Like,
I'd like to say something. Everyone in that house are snakes anyway.
Yes.
So I mean,
Yeah.
not really
Yes, but-
anything that they're not already used to.
And also, the challenges don't benefit Reggie. Like, I'm not saying, like, I mean, she
Sure.
does get to try them out, but there was one of the challenges she did with Jules, and it was last week. It was the ball, and you know, the partner
Yeah.
challenge where you had to. The ball was the same color as the board. She's legally blind. Big Brother said this is a challenge for hand and eye coordination. Like, hello, it's in the sentence. She's blind. She can't.
Exactly. But what I know this is going off track, but I love Reggie. She doesn't complain. She doesn't want to be treated differently to any other housemates. She does the challenges head on, whether she can see or not. And that smile, that laugh, that giggle never leaves her face. And I have to say, well done, Reggie, because that's a super mum. That's a superhero. And not all superheroes wear capes. And she's proven that, hey, just because I'm blind doesn't mean I can't do these challenges and win or lose. She's proven, I'm here, I'm playing the game dangerously, and I'm going to last, and you're going to watch me last. And this is definitely Reggie's world, and we're all living in it.
To
And
be
I love
honest,
it. I love it. I love it.
I think based off her disability, I think Reggie is one of the strongest players in there.
Yeah.
Because look at what she has to deal with on a regular basis, and still cope, and still do challenges, and still put up with the rest of the housemates that put her through hell.
Yeah.
And she's still the queen of the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't mess with her. Next question. Do you want to read that?
Is Tim still the most powerful player of Big Brother? You know what? I think no way. I think that he probably was the most powerful player, but I think that his power is slowly slipping away from him, because people are seeing through him, and there have been there have been sort of behaviors that I've noticed from Tim, where he basically flares up and he gets upset and whatever, and he went after Farmer Dave and stuff like that. Instead of keeping his cool, which he normally did, he got really, really upset at Farmer Dave for putting him up, and that's a sign of weakness. And I think that and vulnerability, and I think maybe Tim actually might feel a bit vulnerable all of a sudden, which makes him not the strongest player. I think he was in the beginning, where he's very easily controlling people and being very, very manipulative and getting people to trust him and stuff like that. But now, since a lot of the OGs are being kicked out and all have targets on the back and whatever, Tim basically is losing a lot of his power. And then I suspect that once people, get rid of Taras, or they get rid of Johnson, or they get rid of Reggie, they're going to come after Tim next.
Yeah.
I don't honestly see Tim winning it, because he's losing his power at a really rapid rate.
Okay, Brayden, is Tim still the strongest and the most powerful game player of Big Brother of all time? I mean, let's talk about, let's go back to 2013. He strategically every week nominated the correct way and got people out. Is he the most powerful? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Oh, look, I don't think there's anyone that can overtake Tim's throne at this point. If we're talking like all time, yeah, 100%. But in this game, I think that there are instances where he has slipped off a little bit, but I think that he still remained in power. I think that he's good at weaseling his way out of trouble. I think as much as he causes trouble, I know that's quite ironic, but I think that he can do it. If he wants to make it to the end, he can make it to the end, I think. So it's kind of a matter of if or if not, really.
Fair enough. Aaron,
Yeah.
do you think that Tim is the most strategic and most powerful player of all time, Big Brother of all time?
Yes and no, because he's slowly losing like the power. I feel he's slowly, like in the beginning he was like very powerful. He knew how to play the game because obviously he's played this style of game in Canada before. So it's like, yeah, it's like but now I think he's slowly, people are starting to see through him, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'd like to draw you to one piece of evidence. So in the beginning of the game, Tim said to Lulu, "Hey, we saved you, and if you fuck with us, we're going to come straight after you. We're going to make you our biggest target."
Yeah.
Now, someone in control wouldn't say that. Someone in control would just let things go on as they would, and then just understand the trust and just go, yeah, she's good with us. We saved her. There's no way she's going to kill us. But so, I think Tim maybe felt a little bit of him thinking, I could be losing my control, and so therefore I have to show some sort of dominance, or even a little bit of fear to teach these people what will happen to them if they don't support me. And there are bits in that where Lulu was actually crying, and I think that one of the reasons why she was crying was because maybe she felt a bit trapped by not being able to vote for who she really wanted to vote for. And even if after the show kind of thing, there was a comment that Lulu made to Tim, which is, "Tim, what have you become?"
Yeah.
And that's actually something I noticed. So I wonder if that's basically Tim experiencing fear. And of course, if you've got fear, you've lost control.
That's right. For me, do I think he's the most powerful player of all time? I have to agree with Aaron, yes and no, because the no part is, I think deep down inside, Tim fears being put on the block for nominations. He fears being evicted. He fears it backfiring on him. He's always said that constantly every day. What if it backfires on me? But then you have to look at the yes part was, he's played this game very strategically in Canada and came second place. And now he's doing it all over again. And you have to look at, Tim has never, ever for this year been put up. Now they say Taras is flying under the radar, but I think Tim is flying under the radar. He's sitting on the fence very quietly, but when it comes to nominations, what he does is he scrambles for his life, and he says things to, that's why they call him master manipulator, because he has a very strategic way of talking to people and saying, look, I need your help with this. I need you to, do this for me. we need to stick together. He was with the OGs until he turned to the newbies. The thing is, you have to look at the master manipulator and think, is he smart? Week after week after week after week after week, he's had 0 nominations. This could be another win for Tim. This could be another powerful chess move. Tim, we
Yeah.
know you're all smart. We know you're smart up here. We know you're a game player, but
Yeah, he's not a manipulator. He's an influencer. As you
yes,
said to
Yeah.
very
Charlie.
good.
now next question. Do you want to read that? Question 5.
Question 5. Who do you think will make the top 5?
Say it louder, but please.
So
Ooh,
for all those that didn't hear me, who do you think will make the top 5?
Braden.
Okay, Reggie's a shoo-in. I think Taras has a chance. 5. God, I think Alicia should fly on the radar. Johnson, I feel like he's gotten through so many times. There are so many occasions where he could have gone home, but he just hasn't. I think he would go into the final 5. And
Don't count
I
out Drew.
don't know. Maybe like Brenton. I don't know. Brenton, I feel like he has connections with Tim, so maybe, or Tim, maybe Tim or Brenton, from one of them. Brenton.
Aaron, who do you think will be the top 5?
I think Reggie will be in the top 5. Tim, Johnson, is that the 3? Yeah. Alicia, and maybe Taras.
For me, I've
Yeah.
been muddling over this in my mind on a weekly basis. I think the top 5 for me, the top 5 contenders, obviously Queen Reggie, our Reggie. There's Reggie, Tim, Gabby, Drew, Estelle. I don't see Taras, Brenton, or Johnson lasting. These are my 5: Gabby, Tim, Reggie, Drew, and Estelle.
For me, I think Gabby will probably make the top 5. I'm not sure if Gabby will actually win it or not, but Gabby will probably make the top 5. Tim will definitely make top 5. Drew will definitely make top 5. Reggie will definitely make top 5. And I don't see Taras getting top 5 because he's already got a massive target on his back.
Yeah.
But Johnson definitely top 5 because he will work as hard as he needs to work just to get there. But that's top 5. I really don't see Taras getting to anywhere close to top 5 because there are too many people that hate him.
Okay, do you want to read that one?
Who do you think will make the top 3? Which is a harder question. So that means we have to get rid of 2.
Remember
their names.
Yeah. So who's going first?
Braden.
Okay. Reggie, Taras, and Alicia.
Aaron.
Reggie, Tim, and Johnson.
Buckets.
3 names: Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Come on, be serious. Just say the 3 names.
Oh, okay. Most likely Reggie. most likely Tim, and most likely Estelle. Maybe.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I
three,
just- Ooh,
Three
I
OGs.
had those three in my brain. Reggie, Tim, and Estelle.
three OGs.
Real G's.
Wow. That's interesting.
Reggie, Tim, and Estelle, because I don't know if I'm trying not to say things that might get me in trouble, but I was reading on the internet that there was a leak that I don't know if it's true or not, hearsay, but from a parent leak, Tim and Reggie are part of the final three. I don't know who the third person is. I don't hear Estelle's name being thrown around, but I'm hoping Estelle will be part of the final three because she was, in her day, she was, I think, third runner up or second
Mhm.
runner up.
Third,
Yeah.
Third runner up.
third
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, third place. So those are the three. Final question is number 8. Do you want to ask that?
Well, this is really for the audience,
But
for,
we
for
can-
them, but we can ask it anyway. Who do you think will win Big Brother 2022? So if you've got any ideas of who actually might
Yeah.
win, send us a comment, tell us what you think.
Yep.
And you could do what I just did, which is just make up some random names.
The winner of Big Brother 2022 is Reggie. Reggie.
As
will
far as we
win.
know.
Reggie
Yeah.
will be crowned the winner of Big Brother 2022.
Yeah, I don't know.
She makes the end, she'll do it.
Yeah.
And Reggie deserves the win. She won in 2003, but she'll definitely win 2022. And when she does win it, or if she does win it, imagine going down in history as winning a game twice,
Mhm.
Mm.
beating out the younger generation who couldn't even bounce her out. Imagine that, historically winning Big Brother of that
Twice.
year and then winning this one. But
Mm.
what's the fun part about Reggie is I caught something on TV about 2 weeks ago and I was like, yes, Reggie, show it off. She was wearing her Big Brother t-shirt.
Yeah.
And she was wearing her Big Brother jacket with the I logo on the jacket. And I don't know if that's a symbol or that's a signal for what Big Brother was and what Big Brother is. And seeing her wear those two items, I was like, hello, are you listening? This is what we're needing. And I was like, is she allowed to wear that? Like, is she even allowed to have the I logo? Like,
Yeah, and that was from a
it's
different channel.
different era, a different channel altogether. And I'm like, is she allowed to like get away with that? Like, what do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, no
Yeah.
one said anything. So, and plus, they're using clips from those days. So, you know, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I suppose if you bought the rights to something,
Yeah.
then you'd buy everything that Channel 10 had, right?
But the thing is, right,
Yeah, true.
with them showing Drew and let's take a moment with them showing Drew and Tully out in the pool in 2013, and then Ben from Brisbane going, I'm in the pool, and then you see Drew cackling, sort of like
Yeah.
Tim comes out and goes, I'm in the pool, as a reference to Ben. It's kind of like, and they're showing footage. Here's
Yeah.
one random and final question I do want to ask, which is with all these, you know, videos from past years, from that era, that decade, are they hinting, is this what we're getting finally, or do you think that's what they're intending on showing, or is it just a montage? Because every time I see that, I see a fan on, you know, social media going, they're showing us old footage. Does that mean this is what they're trying to tell us? Like, we've not had these montages for forever. Like, and these are like classic Big Brother. What do you think,
Mhm.
Brayden?
Yeah, look, I think it obviously pertains to the storyline. that they're trying to tell, the Drew and Tully thing, and then Reggie and this person and that person. Like, I mean, I don't really know what Channel 7 has in store. I don't know what Big Brother, I don't know what the future is.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, I enjoy watching them because I watched it as a child
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it. So it's nostalgia.
Aaron?
Yeah, it's the nostalgic feel about it, just seeing those old clips again, and like seeing how far the original housemates have come, like from back then to now, which is quite nice to see. Actually.
Buckets?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Aaron in the sense that what they show back then and now. Yeah.
It's kind of giving us, for me, finally to say, it's as Braden says, I agree with all of you. It's nostalgic. It's nostalgia. It's happiness. It's memories. We don't know what the future holds, and we hope for a brand new season for 23. And we certainly are enjoying the nostalgia. Now, what I want to say is, I think all of us want to say is, if you would like to let us know, go to our YouTube page, search Catspace, subscribe. Aaron usually does this. Subscribe button.
With an actual K, by the
Yeah.
way, not a C. Otherwise, you'll
Yeah.
be looking at cats all day.
Yep. And there's the bell
Yeah.
as well. Don't forget to press that bell. We are also on TikTok, tiktok.com/@HelloCatspace5. And we are also on Instagram @HelloCatspace5. Make sure you follow us there and subscribe and let us know what you think as we dive back now into memory. And this is the last push. 3 weeks and we're ready. Thank you so much for joining me, Buckets. He's been under the weather, poor guy. Braden and Aaron, thank you, my boys, for joining me tonight. We look forward to maybe another week or two coming back with some fresh videos as we prepare to brainstorm something fun for you all. Make sure you follow us, join us, like, comment, share, invite your friends, and let us know what you think. Thank you so much for tonight, and we look forward to watching and following the updates, and we'll see you all next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.